Southwest Nigeria, and there's a summit. My name is Banji Busa. It's a very, very fresh edition of the program. I'm not alone. Of course, actually, let me see what happened. I turned the table.
You turned the table.
Okay, Jumake is here. Jumake should actually have been the first person. You see how they better have taken the job, and I'm passing over to you.
All right, you're passing it back to me.
How was your weekend?
Well, it was a good weekend. We thank God, and thank God for the rain this morning. Because I think politically...
You call it early morning showers?
Yeah, early morning showers. Because I think politically, economically, and bodily, we actually need that refreshing. I hope that rain will actually bring it down the heat.
I'm joining those who said the polity is heated up.
Oh, it's so heated up. So I believe that the rain this morning will actually bring down the temperature, cool it down.
Are you sure? In the city of Abuja this morning, lawyers numbering thousands are already set to protest what they call illegal, unconstitutional suspension of the CJM.
Yes.
That's annoying. So if you say tempers or pressure,
well, I hope the rain got to Abuja this morning, to cool down the tempers of the councils, the lawyers who are presently in Abuja, because
ready to fight.
I guess probably the federal government did not think it would get this kind of reaction from the electorate, both the electorate and the civil world,
The question we should be asking is, we cannot actually pontificate. Was it constitutional or otherwise?
That's the debate.
We are not in a position to actually.
That's the debate, because some are for and against.
Some are against.
Yes. Something I like about the law is that there's always something to hold on to. Yes. Because when you listen to one party, you want to feel convinced.
Yes.
Then when you listen to the other side, then at that point you pause, and then you just want to see how everything plays out. So I guess by the end of today, we'll actually know the way forward. After this meeting, I guess, we'll know the way forward on this issue. But we say two wrongs do not make a right.
Today may be too early to actually get to the end of this show. And the federal government has repeatedly said it's just a suspension. It has not been removed. So let us wait. It's just unfolding. Yeah. Issues are unfolding, and we don't really know the end to it. For us on Summit, we are not actually treading that path.
Oh, we are not treading that path this morning. We have someone on the program today who is racing towards the House of Reps, and she's going to be unfolding her agenda and also tell us about some issues regarding the opposition party. Alright, so that's what we are doing on the program today, because we are gender friendly on a summit. We don't leave it to only the male. We try to balance it up and also hear from the female.
Of course, women have always said if they have been given the chance, they could have done it better. So more women, the Beijing conference, 35% of women should actually be allowed into politics, given positions. Women are actually rising, taking up the challenge. More women are actually slugging it out with men.
Yes.
And it's happening more in 2019 general elections. Our guest today is certainly one of the people actually slugging it out, a female, and somebody who has actually paid her dues, somebody who has been in the field, and somebody I can say has a mission in politics. So that's our guest today.
Well, that's our guest today. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have her here with us. Don't go, we will be right back.
corruption say Buhari na you we want, Buhari na you we sabi. These other people na mouth them there, all these other people na jaga them sabi.
Oh yes, so people of Lagos State say na President Muhammadu Buhari them go vote for this election when they come, so because them don't see all the good work what they do to make our country better. Election time na the time for sweet mouth. Some of them fit to use sweet mouth collect banana from monkey hand, but President Buhari na proper talk na do person. That is why we all go vote him, so if it to complete all the good work what they do for Lagos State and everywhere for Nigeria. People of Lagos, make we all come out on election day and vote Muhammadu Buhari as president of Nigeria. Professor Yemi Oshibajo, vice president. This one na time for the next level of
Buhari you we want.
Now a couple support group power this message.
Oh yes, you're welcome back. Our guest is already all set, but it's not my responsibility to actually bring her on to you at Jumoke is set. Jumoke?
Alright, yes, I'm set. Yeah, like we said, we are gender friendly on a summit, and then this morning we are featuring a woman who is racing towards the House of Representatives, and she's in the person of Honorable Fateema Mohammed, PDP House of Reps candidate, Ifako, Ijaye.
Federal Constituency,
of course. You're welcome.
Jumoke, was it deliberate that you skipped one of our names?
You have to put the Aduke.
Aduke?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Honorable Fateema Mohammed.
But it's fine.
Okay.
What's in the name?
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. I feel very good.
It's actually a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, this is home. MITV is home for me.
For you.
So every time I come here, it's like, oh,
Right.
Great.
nice to be home.
Great. Let's before we actually delve into the main issue, what brought you here, we cannot but seek your opinion too. PDP was said to have actually gone on suspension of his campaign. That is because of what they regard as unconstitutional suspension of the CGN. What's the link between the two?
Well, the link between the two basically is we're Nigerians. We're meant to be stakeholders. This is our land. We're supposed to be decision makers of this particular land. So when something of that magnitude happens, it's not time to jump on campaign trains and begin to campaign. It's time to get involved in the issue and look for a way around it.
So it's a solidarity.
It is a solidarity.
Have you got some of the comments? Some people are saying somebody has been alleged to have falsified.
I like the word you used. You said allegedly. Good. So the fact that you've alleged somebody doesn't make the person
a false declaration of his asset. Now, was it not something you should have distanced yourself from in terms of
not in these days of witch hunting, not in these days where what they have done, governance that we have these days has been one-sided. All the corruption cases has been lopsided. So we're not carried away. We're not ignorant of the fact that this is another setup to take him out of the way. Look at the shoddy way they brought in a new CGN. Look at the shoddy way somebody who hasn't even declared his own assets. The constitution is clear. You cannot be a CGN without declaration of assets. All right?
In acting capacity.
Whether you're acting, because he was sworn in. If he was acting, he should just have been by words of mouth. And then they say it and say, well, you're acting. Somebody in acting capacity who started swearing in judges, even if most of the judges were dead. I don't get this. You don't behave unconstitutionally and then you come out to say, oh, that you have respect for the rule of law. If you look at the precedences of the president, he's never respected the rule of law.
All right, let's not dwell too long on that because we actually want to know you and what you're bringing to the table as representing Ifako at the Federal House of Representatives. Now, how did your sojourn into politics begin? Let's take it from there.
Okay. You've said my name, Fateema Mohammed. My sojourn politically began in 1999 with my father, my mentor, somebody that I am proud to be his protege. I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Asiwaju, People say, oh, she's always utilizing him, she's always hyping him, but that's not it. The truth is, honor must be given to whom it is due, whether we like it or not. In the politics of the Southwest, he's brought up a lot of people. Of course, along the line, we realized that we cannot continually do politics this way. So, over time, I got involved with Mr. Ijaye, and Mr. Ijaye thought me forthrightness in politics. He taught me a different kind of politics. He taught me that politically, governance must be doable and achievable to the electorate. He says, governance is about service. When you're saying you want to vie for a political post, it is that I want to serve my people. I want to add value to my people. That I learned from Mr. Ijaye, and I think I have been everywhere. I came in back into because I was originally a member of the AD. That's when we stopped. I left the APC when it was AC. You know, it has revolved severally. There's been a lot of change of names. But I am in the powerhouse now. That name that has never changed. That name that gives you power to express yourself. I am where there's so much gender sensitivity. I am where I have a lot of men who are gender biased, who are saying, well, we would continually give the women a chance. And that is evident in the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. You could see the percentage of women who served in his cabinet. So I think that's basically it. And then you said that, what am I bringing to the table? Maybe what I should have said.
Sorry, before we actually get to that, you have enough time to actually tell the viewers, not us, what you're actually bringing to the table.
Okay.
Now, I'm a bit, let's get a few things straightened out.
Okay.
You mentioned your mentors.
Yes.
Are you ideologically guided?
Oh,
In
yes.
some of your decisions, if you have to switch from the progressives to the
when you call it progressive,
are you ideologically guided?
Oh, yes,
or is it just personalities?
Oh, no. Fateema is somebody who has the mind of her own. She's very assertive. She knows what she wants, she knows what she believes in, and she goes for it. When you call it the progressives, I'm wondering, because this has been 20 years of governance in Lagos, and we have been static. So, when you call it living the progressive, no, I'm saying I'm living the regressive, and I'm moving on to power. I am with the true progressives.
Oh, with the true. Oh.
With the true progressives. The People's Democratic Party is a party of the true progressives.
Okay. So.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about your antecedents now. What have you been? But we should not go to.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. What are the things you've been doing that makes you qualified and able to personify this office that you're running for?
Well, the only reason why I'm going to, go very, very, very extensive and deep in answering your question is because I probably have viewers at home who haven't had reasons to, haven't heard anything about the Ifako Federal Constituency. What have I been doing in my presidencies? There's so many. I am proudly a household name in Ifako, and this is by virtue of the things that I have done. It has endeared me into the hearts of the electorate. I don't take that for granted, because it has to be the grace of God upon your life for you to do things that people would appreciate. These things don't come every day. It doesn't happen every day. I've done a lot of things. When I got into Ifako, I realized that a lot of infrastructural things were not done, and I couldn't believe that in a place where we've had senators, where Ifako has been part of, because Ifako is the second largest local government in the whole of Lagos, and we haven't been represented up until this moment. All right, and so I was wondering, we've had senators for 16, 18 years. We've had House of Representative members. We've had House of Assembly members. We've had chairmen, and it has been static. So I started from providing the basic necessities. Some things are just basic. The electorates deserve them for coming out to line up in the sun to vote for you, to endorse your candidacy. I got to a lot of places where they didn't have water, where they were living at the mercy of people who sell water. And so it has to be dependent, and the few people who give them water, it would be dependent on light. Sometimes they'll say, oh, they get very cranky, the generator cannot come on all the time and all of that. So I started by digging boreholes to ensure that we have water. And to the glory of God, I have done 15.
15.
We have 14 local governments, and when I say I have done 15, they are pictorial evidences. You can take a trip around and then it's everywhere. That's the first thing. The next thing I did was I had a reason to go to Ifako Ijaye General Hospital sometimes ago and to see one of my team members who just had a baby, and she's lying on the floor. And so I said to her, what happened? She said there were no beds. So I said, wow. We took a trip there. If you take a trip around Ifako Ijaye General Hospital, they can decide to take it away after this program, but pictures don't lie. It is there. History already has it. I give them beds, baby beds, medical beds, examination beds, ward beds, drip stands, and everything to make, the place have at least space to accommodate 10-20 more patients. And that day they said to me that this has never happened, and I'm wondering,
unprecedented.
It has never happened. And I stand to be challenged. That's why I'm on a live program, and I'm challenging anybody who's been part of this, of Ifako Ijaye, the senators, the House of Representative members, the House of Assembly, the councillors, the chairman, to come out and say, oh, Fateema, you have to tell the truth, so we can begin to prove to Lagosians, and especially the residents of Ifako Ijaye, what we have done. After that, I took a trip around the schools. When I got to the school, I was a bit, put off by the level of what the learning areas looked like. In 2018, I wept that day, and I saw children who were going to school without shoes. I saw children going to school with poly bags as their school bags. I saw children going to school with empty containers of bottled water as their water bottle. And I couldn't hold back the tears as a mother. I'm wondering, so what has been happening? You look at the schools, a lot of them are dilapidated, and you're wondering what a child would learn out of a place like this. So we went ahead. I went with my House of Assembly candidates. We went to the school, and we started giving them school bags. We gave them water bottles. We gave them school shoes. And we were able to touch, even if they kept shutting us out, because according to them, we're not in government, and we didn't have a right to be in their schools. But we parked outside the school. We waited, we came out, and we started giving the children. We got to a particular place where the teachers got very angry and said, you want to put us in trouble. And they took the bags from the children.
All within Ifako.
All within Ifako. And their parents came out in mass and started cursing the teachers. All of this, it's so sad that we're saying governance is about the people, the electorates. Yet we criticize people who are doing the things we ought to be doing because we can't do it, and they're doing it. We are threatened, and we begin to block these things. It is so pathetic. It is sad. I have graded 18 roads. My focus is to grade 25 roads. But I went around and in my campaigns and walkthroughs, I saw a lot of roads that are not motorable, and I said, well, I do not have a budget to fix these roads as in Tavern, but I could make them motorable, I could make them more accessible, I could make it easier for the electorate and the common man. And so that's what I started doing. Major roads in Ifako Ijaye that have been terribly, eroded by deep gullies and all of that, I started creating pictorial evidences everywhere. So
I thought you can go on and on.
That's what I'm saying, I can go on and on.
All right, now
So
you said
much.
something that actually piqued my interest.
Yes.
You said something that for the past 16, 18 years,
20 now.
20 now, it's actually been over the
We haven't been repped.
We haven't been repped. The PDP has not been repped in
Not
that.
the PDP. Every electorate, every person who lives in Ifako Ijaye Federal Constituency, we haven't felt the presence of representation. That's what I'm saying.
All right, now, how confident are you that you can actually win?
No,
Or
make a
overcome?
difference. Jumake,
Because she is going against an opposition
Have
that
I
has not been really
have I
challenged.
not made a difference already, as it were?
Okay.
Okay, no, you want us to vote for you.
Oh yes.
So, how confident are you?
This is 2019. I say all the time, I said, when you do something consistently, after a while the people get wise. Do not forget, A lot of the kids then 20 years ago are wiser now. They are learned. They have access to the internet. There are a lot of things that they have seen working in all that underdeveloped nations and developing nations as well. So they know. And that's why you see a lot of the youths who have come out to say we would change the narratives. I am confident of victory. I'm coming against an opposition. I don't see it as an opposition. I don't see it as a threat. I see it as people who are gathered. We have almost 500,000 registered voters. I see people who are going to come out and who are going to vote their conscience, who are going to say enough is enough. I see that every day in my rallies. I see them come out en masse to say, you know what, we're standing with you because a new era must come, a new dawn must come. And like I said to them all the time, help me to rep you better. I have chosen to rep the people of Ifako Ijaye Federal Constituency better. I have given them a tip of the iceberg. People who have been there for 20 years will come out and say, I want you to vote me. If you vote me, Fateema says, vote me based on what I have done, my precedencies. I would improve on it. I would build on it.
Not because of your gender.
Not because of my gender. But do not forget, a woman knows what it is to nurture a child. A woman is, we're the mothers of the nation. Empower a woman, empower a nation. So basically, maybe my gender is an added advantage, but it's more about the person and what we represent.
Now let me ask you, I'm a bit curious because you have actually been out to contest in the past. Just once.
The by-elections. I won that primaries, but that was when PDP had the party crisis and all of that. We had internal crisis and so.
Okay, judging by what I mean, the antecedents, what you've been able to do for the people of Ifako Ijaye.
Let me take you back to that. Let me take you back to 2016.
One would have expected them to reciprocate those good gestures.
Thank you very much. They did reciprocate, and I will tell you why. On the 3rd of December 2016, like I said to you, I said we have over 480,000 registered voters. If you follow the by-elections, they had only 8,000 voters who came out. And I'll break it down for you. A lot of people came out to vote and they said, please, so where is that woman? And they said, oh, they've taken the woman out of the race. And they went back in protest.
Without voting?
Without voting. 8,000 to 400 and something.
You had your reps, you had your agents at these polling stations.
I didn't contest in that elections. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
I won the primaries. We had inter-party issues, so they took out my name. But I'm saying the person who eventually contested didn't get, he got about 1,000 votes. And I have told you again, I said we have over 470,000 registered voters. People came out to protest. Is Fateema no longer in the race? And they walked away. For me, that is a win.
Now, you've been able to put all those issues behind you.
Oh, that is behind because I'm working. I am the sole and authentic candidate whose name has come out in the papers and whose name is in INEC, whose name has been published, whose name is everywhere, who is going to win the House of Representatives elections, God willing.
All right, now, Honorable Fateema Mohammed is still here with us in the studio. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, she'll lend her voice to more issues regarding the 2019 election, so stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. We still have Honorable Fateema Mohammed here with us. She's in the PDP House of Federal House of Representatives candidate for Ifako Ijaye.
Federal Constituency.
Federal Constituency Ijaye. And you will agree with me that she's so full of action. And when you talk about your antecedents, you make me believe you, because if you can talk with so much action, that means even physically you are able to accomplish whatever you set your mind to do. All right, now let's look at why the House of Reps. Why? Is it that it will give you more? You will have more opportunity there to
not exactly.
whatever you want to do.
Not exactly. Sometimes politically you want to see it and then observe the climb. Like I said to you, I've been in politics since 1999, and this is the first time I'm contesting elections. I have been behind. In 2007, I coordinated Jimmy Abaje's campaign. I have been behind politicians, and I just said to myself, it is time to come out and lend my voice. It is time to come out and speak above a whisper. And I felt the House of Representatives for me should be my first stop. I say it all the time that I see myself as the first female vice president of Nigeria, and eventually the first female president of Nigeria. Viewers, it is doable and achievable. I'm working seriously towards it.
Yeah, she asked a question about why of all
That's what I
the
just said. I
positions.
said
Now the
I
legislative.
have made up my mind to start with the House of Rep, to make it my first stop and then take it up from there.
Yeah, it's a deliberate decision on
It
your
is
part
deliberate
to
on
actually
my
start
part.
to have decided to start with the House of Reps. It's purely likely a legislative function.
Oh yes, it is.
Now, what are the issues, legislative issues you actually want to push when you get there? I mean, that will actually favor the people of Ifako Federal Constituency. You said you've been represented for the past 20 years. You haven't been represented.
In 20 years.
When you get there,
What am I
are the
going
things
to
you want to
do
do differently?
Thank you very much. I'm sure that you know that since it's legislative, we do not have powers to execute projects, but we can lend our voices. We can speak above a whisper. We can insist that development infrastructurally be brought to our federal constituency. All right? That's why every constituency has a vote. This is the vote we're giving, and this is how we intend to do it. Okay, I'm going to start from education. I talked about the educational system, how terrible it was. I've taken a trip around Lagos State and I've seen some model schools, the new millennium schools and all of that. We don't have that in Ifako Ijaye. Do not forget, I said it's the second largest. You take a trip to Ikoyi, the streets are made of interlocking towns. We don't even have tarred streets, tarred roads in Ifako, let alone we don't have graded roads, let alone coal tar on it. So we can't even begin to dream of having interlocking towns. We are saying Lagos West has been grossly shortchanged. So I am going to speak above a whisper with the other representatives from the Lagos West to say, you know what, the attention you have given to Victoria Island, to Lekki, to Ikoyi, it is time to bring it back this way, because we have the largest number of voters in the Lagos West. Educationally, about 3 weeks ago, I started my jam form purchases for students, and we've done 200. We've closed in right now, and we're going to start doing the lessons for them. And eventually, after the lessons, we'll have a mock jam, and we'll have 2 students from Ifako Ijaye that will be giving university scholarships. So these are the things that I intend to do.
Personally sponsored by you.
Personally
No, I'm
sponsored.
looking at that office.
Personally sponsored by me.
So
when I get to
at
that
the National
office,
Assembly,
I intend to
lobbying
speak
is
more.
a major instrument.
It is a
I'm
major
talking
instrument.
about getting that platform,
I agree with
lobbying
you.
your colleagues to be able to.
I'm sure that when you look at me, you would see me as somebody who's got a strong spirit. I'm strong-willed. I can assert myself. So convincing my other representatives from the Lagos West, it's not going to be a big deal. So even if they're tagging along or not, I am going to be speaking as a lone voice. I would continually speak above a whisper, so much so that I would turn around my constituency and make it a model constituency. That is my promise to the people of Ifako Ijaye.
All right, talking about the challenges or the needs of the people of Ifako Ijaye. You have mentioned education,
Healthcare.
talked about healthcare.
You don't have basic
talked about the
infrastructures.
roads.
Yes.
Now, I want you to look inwards
Yes.
at that setup, that area.
Yes.
And still look deep inside, what are their peculiar needs really? Because you need to understand and have a passion and have a feeling, a deep feeling for these people to be able to represent them adequately, their peculiar needs.
The major need that the people of Ifako Ijaye has, that is cringing, and not just only to that constituency, but to Nigerians at large, is poverty. You find a lot of people who are not empowered. And that's why I've been doing my empowerment sessions, in sessions. And I've empowered about 2,600 people right now. The major ones have been women.
Oh, between when?
From 2016 till now.
2016?
2017, sorry, when I started, till now. And the major thing I did that makes my empowerment different is I am working with a microfinance bank. They give them startup grants. I pay
I hope it's not 10,000 naira.
Oh, no, it can't be 10. That's traders' money.
But 10,000 naira is money.
10,000 naira is traders' money. You can't even get a makeup kit with it. A starter pack is not 10,000.
You can't start some businesses with 10,000.
I agree with you absolutely. But you don't bring 10,000 naira when elections is 21 days.
Okay.
You start giving 10,000 naira from the beginning. We are no longer fools. Trader money will not work for Nigerians. They will take it. It's their right. It's their money, but they will vote their conscience.
All right, let's just go on with what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, what makes my empowerment peculiar is the fact that I am working with a microfinance bank. They give them startup grants. And I say to women all the time that you must have multiple streams of income. And so when I go to places and I see women rushing out to give me stuffs, and I'm saying, why are you giving me? Is it because of what I'm doing? And they said, no, we came for your empowerment. This is what you've done. In fact, there are a couple of them now that I'm going to get NAFDAC approval for their products, because I see them, taking the lives of their families, changing it. I was in Karaole Estate about 3-4 weeks ago, and so the moment my car parked, I saw an elderly woman on the bike. She was rushing, and apparently she had been chasing me with the bike. I was wondering what happened. So eventually when I stopped, I said, you push stop. She stopped. She jumped down from the bike. This was recorded. And she said, I know you. I said, I don't know you, ma. She said, yes, you are the one contesting. I said, yes. She said, my daughter came for your empowerment. The starter pack you gave her, she's doing makeup now. That's what we're using to feed for me. I shed a tear. You know why? It was a tear of fulfillment. Because I say that I cannot alleviate poverty. I can palliate it. I can cushion the effect. I can make it so much so that they don't really feel it. And so that's the major thing I'm looking at. Well, when I become the House of Representative member, I would reach out more to the women. I'm about the women and the youths. We have a lot of husbands who, when we are empowered, we can continually lift them up. I'm gender sensitive, so
right. Okay, we'll take another quick break and then we return for more discussion in the studio. Stay with us.
Let's unite with one purpose. It's time to move forward. Dàgbàsókè, ìlọsókè, Ifako Ijaye wọlé dé. Ẹ dìbò fún Fateema Adùkẹ́. Ẹ dìbò fún àlàáfíà. Àtòhun gbogbo ọkàn wa ń fẹ́. No more darling.
This is so poor. And we have a representative here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's no proof of representation in Ifako Ijaye. This is Ifako Ijaye Ward D. Please, can you take your camera around and see? It is so dilapidated. People are living here. Unfortunately, the rains are here now. Ifako Ijaye remains the second largest local government in the whole of Lagos State. It is sad that no attention has been given to us. That is why I'm saying join me on this mission. This is a bold step. It's not particularly a very easy task. But if you join me and you vote your conscience, together we'll make this happen again. Do not forget, I remain Fateema Mohammed and the party remains the People's Democratic Party. Thank you.
Alright, you're welcome back. That's
so much fascinated, and I feel like shifting my base to be able to. But the question I need to ask: we've had an experience in this country where a lot of our politicians, prior to their election, are philanthropists, whether genuinely or otherwise. But what is it that when they get to where they're supposed to truly represent the people, things don't work the way they have actually, promised the people? How can you convince us that this is just one of the ploys of the politicians to get the mandate only for? We know people were supplying water and they supply all sorts of things before they got elected. When they got elected, everything ceased. So can you assure Nigerians that this is not just a temporary thing?
Well, in assuring Nigerians, I should start by asking you the question. I've known you for about 20 years. Haven't I been consistent? Has this not always been me? Even before governance. For 20 years, you can affirm the fact that Fateema has always been reaching out. The truth of the matter is, whether it's politically motivated or not, you are a reflection of what you do. I am somebody who naturally loves to give. Giving is my character, is a way of life for me. Sometimes I grieve so crazily that people around me, my brother looks at me and says, "Are you okay at all?" But the fulfillment is in putting smiles on the faces of people. I can decide not to do anything. I'm sure that in 2008, I started the Jimmy Body outreach. Elections had come. You knew all I did in the Jimmy Body's outreach. I have started doing this. It has been 11 years now. But even before then, I'm saying these ones that we have documentation for. I've touched local government, several local governments, Oshodi, Alimosho, and everywhere. I'm somebody that you cannot pass through my life. I cannot pass through your life and not leave an impact. This is just who I am.
Money is a very key factor in politics.
Yes.
You've been campaigning. Has the issue of finance resources been constraints?
It hasn't. Sometimes people ask me, how do you do it? There have been a lot of stories. So and so is sponsoring her. This is how she's doing it. And I'm saying boldly on her, no living being has given me a dime. It has been my efforts. It has been the grace of God. It has been my family. It has been my friends. It hasn't been the effort of any politician. No politician anywhere has given me 1,000 to my election.
But you are the DG of articulation.
Yes.
One assumes, or one wants to presume that that's naturally.
Articulation for us was built out of passion. You would remember that articulation started even while the incoming president was in the APC. That's when I started making noise about articulation, because I've told you, I said I'm a deep person. I sit back, I see what people don't see. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is more or less like a father to me. So it's not about working for my father because I intend to be remunerated. No, I'm doing it passionately. I'm working because this is what I believe in. And not so many days away from now, he would be sworn in as the next president of Nigeria. And then Nigeria will truly work again. Because we're static, we're not working. Nigeria is dead. Only Atiku Abubakar.
God forbid.
God forbid.
God forbid.
It is a figurative speech. Is when you look at the rate of poverty in 2015 to now, it has been terrible. A bag of rice 8,000 to 18. Nigerians are pleading. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, come and help us get Nigeria working again. We're waiting for you. We would be in the House of Reps to help push the laws that would get Nigeria, diving.
All right, still talking about the campaign. You've been campaigning. How would you rate how politically inclined the electorate are? How has been the
acceptability?
Yes.
Well, maybe the thing is, I am not an elitist politician. Okay. I'm a grassroots person, and you know that. It has been about the grassroots for me. So for them, it's like, oh, this is one of us. The jingle you played says, Fati is the voice Ifako Ijaye needs. It makes me feel very good. I drive through schools, and they see my campaign vehicle, and the teachers try to stop the children. They come out and shout, Fateema!
But the children are not the ones voting.
They are not the ones voting, but the effects, do not forget, they are not the voting populace. They've got parents, they've got aunties, who they can come and say, Fateema gave me this school bag. And by virtue of that, the mother says she deserves my vote. I have students whose parents followed them to my campaign office for us to purchase JAMB forms. And right in my campaign office, they started declaring, I'm crossing over, I don't want to do this party anymore. Since I have been in this party, nobody has thought about our children. I've had reasons where very recently they went to meet some traditional rulers and he practically sent them away from his palace. He said to them, everything you see here, this police station you see here, Fateema refurbished it. This health center, Fateema refurbished it. So what are you coming to tell us? I've had communities where the old women have spoken out, where the youths have spoken out. And all of this encourages me daily and makes me want to, do more. And I am still giving my word to the good people of Ifako Ijaye. I will not let you down. I would rep you better. I would indeed make Ifako Ijaye a model constituency. But I need you to come out and vote. Don't stop at voting. I need you to defend your vote. Your vote is your voice. You must learn to speak above a whisper.
What are you really saying about collection of PVCs? Because we still have people who have not collected their
Yes, we're mobilizing on a daily basis. My coordinators go out to, because when they were going to register the new ones, we had coordinators with 2 people. So they have been ensuring that they would take the PVCs, the TVCs, they would go. My sister said to me this morning, she said, I have not collected my PVC. I said, bring your TVC. How can you, that your honorable younger sister not, and go and take your PVC. So I have a lot of people who have been encouraging my coordinators, come out on a daily basis, and they've been bringing people to the INEC office, drop their TVC, pick their PVCs. So I think to a large extent, if you look at the chart of those who haven't collected, Ifako Ijaye is not doing badly. I think.
Now, how many wards do you have in this concern? How many of them have you actually visited?
Every ward.
Every ward.
Every ward.
How many?
And how?
11 wards. I have my presence everywhere. I have done my major campaigns, my major walkthrough. I'm starting my house to house. I'll take off tomorrow. So I have reached everywhere.
There's this issue of vote buying. A lot of people, politicians will come out openly and say, no, vote buying is an evil thing. Don't do it. They end up doing it.
Everybody who has been with Fateema knows that Fateema doesn't do politics of money. I tell them all the time, I am coming to serve. I want to make your life better. The only favor you can do me is to go and vote, defend your vote like I said. I'm not going to give you money to vote for me. Because, hey, I'm using my finances. I'm using my finances to make your environment better, to make your lives better, to make the lives of your children better. So the only thank you can do to say, let us join you in taking Ifako Ijaye to the next level, is to live up to their civic responsibilities. You can be rest assured I'm not going to buy one vote. But they will take money to buy votes from people who want to sell, who want to help them, give them money because it's their right. I've told them, like there's this campaign song we sing, it is what they have stolen that they are giving. So they will collect it, but they will vote for Fateema. I would come back on this program after the 17th of February to tell you, I told you, because God is in charge.
That's a promise.
Oh yes, it is a promise. We will come and pop the champagne here, most definitely.
We certainly wish you the best on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We certainly wish you the best.
Right.
So, one last word to the viewer, to people, particularly people of the Ifako Ijaye Federal Constituency.
My good people of Ifako Ijaye.
They have to shun violence.
Oh yes, they have to shun violence because last week we had a very terrible incident. My convoy was attacked and one of my security was killed. And in Ifako Ijaye. The memory, I keep telling him, I said, I still spoke to him this morning. I said, I cannot see you, but you can hear me. The perpetrators of this crime will be brought to book, and I would bring my certificate of return to your burial space to prove to you that you didn't die in vain. I know that is doable. To everybody living in Ifako Ijaye, shun violence, shun thuggery, shun hooliganism. We do not need it. We want to vote. Your PVC is your trump card. Bring it out. Vote Fateema. Vote PDP all the way from top to bottom. As you're voting Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, vote Gbadebo for Senate. We are telling people who have been in the Senate for years, not one single pipe of water in Ifako Ijaye. It is time to go. Let them go away. The true change has come. And so on the 16th of February, come out, vote all the way. On the 2nd of March, come out as well. PDP from top to bottom. Watch us change the face of governance in Lagos State. Thank you very much.
All right, that's been Honorable Fateema pleasure having you on the program today.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I know that our viewers have really enjoyed this chat with you.
Yes.
Because it's really been full of life. And don't forget to join us again on Wednesday. Well, my parting shot today will be, please go get your PVC if you don't have it. It's been extended till the 8th of February so that they can ensure that ample opportunity was given to people to actually
for you to make a choice about who governs you.
And make a choice about who governs you. I am Jumoke Michaels. Good morning.
My name is Banji Busari, but before we go, I need to sincerely thank you. I know when you go there, you are not just going to empower the people of Ifako. You will empower us here.
I would reach
this is home.
We have to change
this. Is home.
We have to change this face.
So we sincerely thank you for your time, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
And like you said, 17th
February, we would be back here. 17th February is a Sunday. We would do all the Thanksgiving. So I would be back here on the 18th of February. God willing, bring the champagne for us to pop it and say, it has been God all the way. We thank God for this grace.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're most welcome.
My name is Banji Busari. See you again on Wednesday.